What is up everyone, I'm Jay Semp and we're back here with another art video. I'm going to be teaching you how to realistically color skin tone. The color theory that I'm about to explain is broken down into three different colors: the cools, the neutrals, and the warm tones. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a self-portrait. So obviously I am just one of many complexions, but the strategies and the techniques that I am teaching you in this video are applicable to any type of skin tone. Also, I am going to be using Copic markers, alcohol-based markers, in this video, but this is applicable to, again, any type of medium because I'm teaching you about the colors themselves and the color theory behind realistic drawing. So, that being said, let's get So I'm starting off the drawing with a very clean line sketch, and I'm able to get this because I did the messy drawing on a separate sheet of paper and then I traced it to get a much cleaner line drawing. And this is to mitigate any smudging or any extra shading that I do not want to make the colors muddy from. So this is an important thing to do if you want to get realistic coloring. So I start off with the blue as a cool tone, and I'm going to be utilizing that as my shadows. And then I'm also coming in with my neutral tone. And then I'm coming in with a warmer tone to give the piece more life, and in this case that is the red. The neutral tone, which I'm using my skin tone for, can be exchanged for any tone and it can still work. So for example, say you have a darker complexion or you're drawing someone with a darker complexion, that dark tone can work just as well with blues as the shadows and warms for the warmer tones. I am then coming in with the darker tones, and this is very important to do because it helps you then balance out to see if you need to add more shadows to the rest of the face. And so in this case, I found out that I did, and so I added some gray tones. And something to note is if you say have a colored pencil set or a marker set, you'll always see that you have warm grays and cool grays. Here, I am putting the cool grays around the areas where I'm using blue shadows, and I'm putting the warm grays closer to the areas where I am using the red warm highlights. And that helps smooth out the piece a lot more and mitigates any muddiness. I always choose to save the clothing for the very end because clothes are always very, very saturated with color, and I don't want them to heavily influence the beginning stages of how I choose to shade or do anything with my skin tones, but rather I want them to influence the smaller details. So you can see, for example, here I am adding my final touch, which is a final stroke of blue shadow to the cheek, because I thought that helped draw everything in together a lot better and made it a lot cleaner. And so you can see that this piece is now finished. I chose to do this piece because it really exemplified my process on how I go about doing realistic shading. So the great thing about this is that you can ever so slightly shift these tones to give yourself a quote-unquote less realistic piece, but a more expressive piece. Say I wanted to shift the blues to a little bit of a green and the reds to a little bit of an orange. That would create a more expressive piece, but still maintain that realism because they carry the same values. I think by breaking down and almost exaggerating, see, the amount of blues and the reds that I'm using in this video itself are not exactly quote-unquote realistic, but by exaggerating them, it gives a much more realistic feel to the piece. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna cut back to my outro. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that video. I had a fun time creating this piece and explaining my process behind it. If this did help you, let me know in the comments. Drop a like, share it with someone else so it can help them as well. And yeah, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.